So a lot of you have been wondering why we haven't had any updates with Rio. A couple reasons is, one is she's basically just been maturing and we've continued to work on her caching training and such and so forth. So there hasn't been a lot to show. The other is, we have an exciting announcement. We'll be having another little girl in our family. This one not so furry. My wife Maggie and we're going to have a little girl. And Maggie being pregnant, she's had a lot of morning sickness and such, and so hasn't been able to help me out with the filming. So a combination between not a lot happening and the inability for Maggie to actually film what we've been doing, that's why you haven't seen much. Now, Rio is almost 7 months old, and so she's now mature enough that I'm ready to take her out on her first brown rat hunt. Up to this point, we've kept her on really soft prey like kangaroo rats and chipmunks, things that won't really test her or try to fight back. While she's young and impressionable, we don't want her to accidentally have any bad experiences, so we keep her focused on soft and easy to kill prey. Now, brown rats, they really aren't a challenge for Mink at all. However, like I said, while she's still young and mentally immature, we don't want to test her on anything that might fight back. So now today we're finally going to take her out and take her on her first brown rat hunt. Wish us luck! Alrighty, so we're excited as the big days come. Let's see what happens. You never know. This is a good little spot. It's got a lot of brown rats. Unfortunately, it does have a few muskrats. We're hoping to avoid those today. We want to wait till she's a little older to be messing with muskrats, but in these spots it's kind of hard to totally avoid them. So if she flushes some, hopefully they don't confront her, they just run and hide. So alrighty, shall we see what she's ready for, huh? Oh, she's going up to the ducks.
Woo! Where is she? I lost her.
She's right here. She almost got
And then they're back, watch.
That was funny. Do you know where she's at?
She's back in under the tree.
She's gonna come out in the muskrat exit and grab one of the ducks.
That would be really cool. There she goes again. Look, she's going underwater. Oh. She's going down the muskrat hole, I think. Never mind, she didn't go in.
She's right by it. She's going around.
All these silly ducks. They're all surrounding her, even though she's chasing them.
I assume you guys are probably wondering why the ducks keep coming back each and every time Rio chases them. Well, the ducks know instinctively that if they can keep the mink in sight, they're actually pretty safe. It's when they can't see the mink that they really need to worry.
Where'd she go?
I don't know. There she is right here.
Oh, I see her.
Yeah. You know, that must be a natural instinct, them submarining those ducks, because the ducks know what it means, and she's never seen a duck, and yet she's doing it the first time. So that hunting style must be a naturally occurring thing, not a learned thing. So cute. Since Rio walked up to me, I decided to pick her up and take her over where there are some other rat holes to hopefully get her to focus back on rats again. You think you're a squirrel? You're a squirrel hunter? What are you doing? You're just having fun. You're just having fun. Come on. But instead of looking for rats, Rio decides she wants to play in the trees and keep goofing off. Even though our goal at coming to the park was to hunt rats, it's actually quite enjoyable watching Rio having so much fun and chasing the ducks.
She's having so much fun.
Now before today's hunt, Rio hadn't had much exposure to ducks. She's naive enough to believe that all she has to do is swim over and grab a duck and she's got dinner. She doesn't know that ducks can fly and easily evade her attempts to capture them. And so, through this trial and error that we see her having, where she just keeps missing duck after duck after duck, she will eventually learn, you know, it's not worth her time to focus on the ducks. She should be focusing on something easier, like a brown rat, for example, which we obviously had brought her there to originally catch. So hopefully she'll start getting that through her head, but, you know, the only way to teach her is to just let her experience it for herself. Let her chase these ducks around. It's kind of funny, fun to watch. But she's not really going to catch one. Realistically, she's got to be a lot slicker, slyer, and more experienced to be able to get a duck.
Ooh, she almost got that one.
You ducks, get out of here, you dumb ducks.
And they keep coming back.
Eventually, Rio got bored of chasing ducks, and so we again moved her to another section of the stream where there are a lot of rat burrows. We'd found a lot of rats here in the past, and I knew there was a lot of places for them to hide. I was hoping Rio would finally start using her nose to follow the rats into their dens.
Is she up in the hole?
But not really.
There must not have been a lot of rat scent on that side of the stream, because Rio switched to the other side where there was also an extensive rat burrow.
A little munchkin.
This unfortunately made it so that it was difficult for Maggie to film what she was doing, being that she was on the same side of the stream. So we decided to switch sides so that she could get a good shot and I could be there with the caching box just in case Rio caught a rat.
Over here.
Rio spent the next 15 to 20 minutes running around in the rat den. I decided to check her to see if there was any blood or signs that maybe she caught a rat down in the den, but I couldn't see anything on her face, so I put her back down. I wasn't sure if Rio had caught a rat or not. She'd been down there for quite a while, but it's hard to say whether she caught one or not without having seen any blood or sign that she'd actually caught anything. So I offered her the carry box to see if maybe she wanted to cache there. But she didn't show any sign of wanting to cache and kept going back in the den to try and find a rat. I teased her with the meat to try and encourage her to cache if she had a dead rat down there. But she didn't seem to act like she'd actually caught anything, and kept running back around in the den. How she could be chasing something though and nothing comes out unless she's killing them, you know? Can you see? Chasing ducks now. No, she wasn't even chasing ducks. Oh no, she's acting like she's lost a rat. She's not really acting like she caught a rat.
She just went up. Oh, she's down. Never mind. I don't know if the camera can see that. Because it's dark.
Along the shore.
It's It's under.
Yeah, under the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could see where you're looking. Is she? Probably she is. Yeah, she's ignoring the ducks now. Did you see that? She's looking for those rats. Based on Rio's reaction, we were convinced that she had found a rat, but the rat had somehow slipped past us. She wasn't really acting like she'd killed a rat and left it in the burrow, and she wasn't really acting like she just walked through an empty burrow either. So somehow the rat had snuck past all three of us and escaped. Eventually, Rio got bored of looking for the lost rat and decided to swim over to see Maggie.
Hey. 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 Hey.
Yeah, she's looking for food. I don't think she killed something down there. Should we hide a rat?
Yeah.
Her? I think she's done a good job for today.
Good girl. You're such a good
Go
girl.
in your coat. That's what she's trying to do, is go in your coat.
What?
Like most bottle-raised mink, Rio loves climbing in your shirt to both dry off and warm up after a cold swim.
You're gonna get me all dirty. Oh my gosh.
So after her unsuccessful rat hunt, that's exactly what she did.
Can you come out?
Yeah, you did it good that time. While Rio warmed up with Maggie, I pulled out a dead rat that I'd brought and drug a little scent trail for Rio to follow to a hole where I'd hidden the rat for her to find. That way Rio could feel like she'd had a successful hunt, even though we hadn't caught anything. Also, by hiding this dead rat for Rio to find and cache, it continues to strengthen the caching training which we've been working on for the last several months. Sometimes just changing the place or situation will throw a mink off and they won't cache like they should. And so, on days when hunting isn't successful, it's a good idea to continue to work on her caching training. Much to my surprise, Rio didn't cache as expected, and actually tried to pull the rat deeper into the hole. Unfortunately, Rio caught me off guard, and I wasn't prepared with the caching training tube. Rio lost grip of the rat anyway, and I didn't end up needing it. For the next several minutes, we let Rio suffer the consequences of not catching correctly. She ran around desperately searching for her lost rat, unable to find it. She needs to learn that unless she caches correctly, she's not going to get rewarded, and she's going to just end up losing her rat. Once I felt she learned her lesson, I threw the rat back up in the pipe where Rio could go in and find it again, giving her another chance to cache properly. There we go. Rio showed us that she'd learned her lesson and brought the rat out like she should have done in the first time. So Rio's first hunt didn't go quite as planned. She didn't catch a rat as far as we know. And she didn't quite cache like she should have with the dead rat that I hid for her. So we had to do a little bit of reprimand, but after that she quickly cached, and so she's got a reward. Not every hunt goes as planned, and it's all part of training and developing your new mink.